He moved in just after graduation, a duffel bag slung over his shoulder, and a quietness that felt heavier than the silence in the house. Michael had warned me that Jake was reserved, emotionally detached. I didn't expect him to make much noise, but I also didn't expect how much space he'd take up without saying anything at all. His eyes lingered, not in a creepy way, but like he was studying something he didn't understand yet. I tried not to notice. I tried to stick to my role, wife, stepmother, caretaker of this neatly packaged life we'd built. But his presence had weight, and soon I was rearranging my routines around it. I'd find myself standing longer in the mirror, second-guessing outfits, checking how my jeans fit before stepping into the living room. He barely spoke to me. When he did, it was short, almost clipped, but his words always carried layers I wasn't ready to unwrap. One evening he walked past me in the hallway, towel slung low on his hips, water still trailing down his chest, and our shoulders brushed. It was nothing. It should have been nothing. But my heart stuttered, and I realized I hadn't felt that rush in years. Jake started joining me for coffee in the mornings. No invitation, no explanation. He'd just be there, leaning against the counter like it was his place. At first we made small talk, weather, news, idle things. Then he started asking more personal questions. Do you miss your old life? Do you think Dad makes you happy? His tone stayed flat, unreadable, but his eyes locked onto mine in a way that made it hard to lie. I told myself he was just young, maybe curious. But then he started noticing things. New perfume. You've been wearing that dress more lately. I caught myself smiling when he walked into a room. I started wearing lipstick again, without thinking. There was one night, just the two of us home. I picked a movie. We sat apart but not far enough. Halfway through he made a comment about how lonely this house must feel without his dad. I laughed too quickly, then stood up to go. As I passed him he reached out and touched my wrist. His hand didn't linger, but it didn't pull back either. I froze for a breath, then kept walking. But I didn't sleep that night. I didn't even try. Michael left early that morning, suitcase in hand and trust in his eyes. I watched him drive away, heart heavy with something I couldn't name. Jake stayed inside, quiet, almost careful, like he sensed the shift in the air. I busied myself with pointless chores, trying to avoid looking at the clock or thinking about how empty the house felt. Later that night we ended up in the same room, barely speaking, but everything between us was loud. He looked at me differently now, not like a stepson, not like anything that had a label I could hide behind. He said one thing, just one. You don't have to pretend with me. I didn't ask what he meant. I already knew. The space between us closed with no announcement, no plan. There were no confessions, no declarations, only gravity pulling two people together for the wrong reasons. My mind screamed at me to stop, but my body didn't listen. I told myself it was a mistake even while it was happening. When it was over, I couldn't even look at him. I just walked away, heart pounding, hands shaking, guilt already carving itself into my bones before morning even came. I couldn't look Michael in the eye when he got back. Every word I spoke felt rehearsed, every smile forced. Jake barely acknowledged me. He wasn't cold, just distant, like he'd taken something and walked away with it. I waited for him to say something, to threaten, confess, hint, but he didn't. He let me carry the weight alone. Every meal, every moment, I felt exposed. I started avoiding being in the same room with them. My heart raced at the smallest sounds, like footsteps or a door opening. At night, I'd lie awake and replay it all. What led me there, what I thought I needed, what I gave away. I wasn't in love with Jake. I didn't even like him, not really. But he saw something in me, loneliness, weakness, and used it. Or maybe I used him. Either way, I hated myself for letting it happen. I kept expecting the truth to surface, but it didn't. Life just kept going, normal on the outside, rotting underneath. One night, Jake passed behind me and whispered, "You still think about it, don't you?" My blood went cold. I didn't answer. I just stared ahead, knowing I'd never feel clean in this house again.